think it's important to ask yourself pretty regularly, what is real? What isn't real? My whole life I've wanted to know. I wanted to have real conversations, not shallow ones. Conversations that meant something to me. And I didn't know why I felt so passionate about this. Why it irritated me and frustrated me when people wanted to talk about the weather or something that happened on the news. And I think I know why now. When you grow up constantly being questioned for your perspective, and it's under this guise that, you got to have empathy for others. You start to question what is real and what isn't. Because if you share your perspective and are constantly questioned for it, you don't really understand yourself, which means you absolutely can't love yourself. Can't possibly extend any love outward when you're made to question everything you think and feel when you try to share it. What the psychological world will call this is gaslighting. And when I first started researching and trying to understand narcissism, this term came up, gaslighting. And the way that the world portrays gaslighting is something that someone does to you so that they have control. But I saw something recently that added a human element to that rather than demonizing a person who gaslights you. We have that movie that shows what gaslighting is, which is, I forget the old version of it, but Rosemary's Baby is a good example of gaslighting. And in that movie, they show it as the devil. It's these Satan worshipers who are trying to impregnate Rosemary so that she can have the spawn of Satan. And she's struggling, and they keep feeding her stuff, and she's questioning her reality, and she starts to lose her mind because anytime she expresses how uncomfortable everything is, everyone's saying, oh, well, you're crazy, you're just pregnant, no problem. Everything's gonna be okay. I think in psychological terms, gaslighting is the result of other people lying to themselves. So they're gaslighting themselves about reality. So of course this is going to be projected onto those who are questioning it and wanting to know the truth. Because a person that gaslights themselves and lies to themselves about reality don't really appreciate someone coming and saying, hey, is that really true? So it's not something someone does maliciously or intentionally. It's really just a threat to their reality. So you challenging it questions their reality. So the exchange is just, hey, I see it this way, you see it that way. You must be wrong because this is my reality, even though it isn't really. And they want you to believe it so that they can be validated in their belief. So the reason I bring this up is, and why I started this video with, ask yourself, go out into nature, disconnect from the world, and ask yourself, what is real? And listen. Listen to yourself. Be honest with yourself. Because this stops the power of gaslighting on both ends, wherever it's coming from. Whether it's you gaslighting yourself and wanting to believe something that isn't real, or someone else doing it to you because they don't want to believe the truth. The only way to combat this is to own your truth. And you will know what the truth is when you consistently and daily ask yourself this. And remind yourself the truth of who you are. And even if it hurts. Because I think the reason many gaslight without their awareness is because they don't want to face the pain of the truth. They don't want to face the pain of what is real. Because reality can be ugly. Especially when it's derived from many, many generations of gaslighting. If it's part of your lineage or part of your family dynamic, to not face reality, then it is going to be something that you struggle with too. And the best practice to combat this is to sit in stillness and have a real conversation with yourself, an honest conversation with yourself about how you feel, what you think, and what your perspective and memories are. Because your feelings, your thoughts, your experience is important. It's important to your growth. It's important to who you are. It's important to your healing. It's important to your evolution. You spend your life trying to convince others of your reality, and you're just further gaslighting yourself, thinking that someone else understanding or validating it is going to make it okay. It's not okay. And trying to figure out or convince yourself that everything is okay is gaslighting. So sit with your feelings. Sit with your reality. Question yourself. Have faith and trust in yourself and what comes up. I do weekly meditations that are around getting into a very relaxed state, breathing deeply, allowing my nervous system to feel safe. And a lot of these meditations asks me questions about what I think, what I feel, what is deep down in my subconscious trying to tell me. And it helps me to validate and love myself, because my experience is important. My feelings are important. And in this safe place, I don't have to worry about someone trying to get me to understand their reality. And completely and totally discrediting my experience. This has been difficult because my deepest longing, and has been since I was a child, was to be able to feel with others, to talk about my experience with others who also experienced the same things that I experienced, in a way where I feel connected and validated, like my feelings matter. But the more I've tried to do this, the more I've been gaslit to believe what they believe, questioning my reality and going deep into this fear of not belonging because my perception and feelings are different, even though we went through the same things. I think eventually, once I've completely eradicated gaslighting from my nervous system and my psyche, I will be able to let go of gaslighting and others. Because it's really easy to notice it once you start realizing how much you do it to yourself. You start noticing it in others, and it frustrates you, because that's what awareness does. Awareness brings reality to the surface, and you have to face it. And especially if it's someone that you love or someone that you care about and you want to experience healing, you want them to be where you are. You want them to have that awareness. And it doesn't matter how much you explain it to them, what you've experienced and how you've gaslit yourself or lied to yourself and come to this awareness. They're not going to come to it until they're ready. And more than likely, you telling them that that's what's happening will cause them to be defensive and blame you for questioning their reality. They need to do it for themselves. And what I've come to realize is that me trying to bring that into awareness to others who aren't willing is a waste of my time and energy. It leaves me in a state of frustration and powerlessness, which sends me down a path or a pattern, an old pattern that I'm trying to let go of. So if you are on the same journey of coming out of your gaslight and coming into your awareness, follow that path. Don't try to bring people along with you, because it only leaves you stunted. It has only left me in a stunted pattern of having to let go time and time again of the gaslight, of the lie. I'm going to sit here in the middle of nature and listen to the sounds, smell the fresh air, hopefully see some beautiful nature or living being to inspire me to chase my stillness, to chase my peace, and let go of the gaslight. If any of this makes any sense to you, or if you want to know more, please like, share, follow, whatever you feel called to. And thank you for listening. Have a great day.